Live. Hey everybody, you are watching Affiliate Marketing Virtual Summit. And today my guest is Peter from TwinRed. Hey Peter, let me know if you can hear me well.
Hello Roman, I can hear you perfectly well.
Nice.
Hello everyone else.
Cool. So let me firstly to introduce you to the audience. You are Chief Executive Officer at TwinRed. TwinRed is an ad network and ad exchange. It was previously called Double Impact or Double Pimp, in another word. Am I correct so far?
Yes, everything perfect as usual.
Cool. And the reason you are here, that you guys are making quite a bit of noise with your new ad format, which is called interstitial ads.
Yes.
And that's exactly what we are going to talk, not only, but focusing on that. Does it also sound accurate, Peter?
Yeah, sounds good. So yes, the interstitial is definitely a hot topic at the moment. So I thought I'd give you guys a bit more insights into that and what happened, where it comes from, how to use it, and how to benefit from this new format. And then I also came up with a topic that in my point of view is very, very interesting and attractive for affiliates, but not really used enough so far by people. So everyone should do that. So I thought I add this to this seminar too.
Nice. So our topic for today is new opportunities, interstitial ad formats, and retargeting. And
Yes.
if you are ready to begin, then let's begin.
Okay, let's jump right to it. Let me share my screen so that everyone can follow our presentation. Okay.
Yeah, I can see it all works perfect.
Okay, perfect. Maybe quickly before we start, maybe quickly about TwinRed as well. So we are an adult ad network and ad exchange, as you correctly said before, Roman. But so we recently changed the entire management focus and vision of the company. That's when we also rebranded to TwinRed. So that was the main reason. We're going a very modern way now. And anyone who is interested can also check it out on the TwinRed website, for example, in the blog. We have Roman and me actually had already a very nice interview together where you can find more information.
We like to talk to each other.
Yeah, apparently so, yeah. Okay, so let's jump into the presentation, what I have for you guys today. Okay. Yeah. So, as I said, there's two topics that I would like to talk to you about. So, first of all, we have the interstitial ads, as announced. So, we will look into what happened so far, the impact that the actions had, the full page interstitial itself. So, a bit explained what is that, and the TwinRed solutions for the interstitial ads. And then after that, we jump to retargeting cross markets. So that for me is a very interesting topic also. That means that, for example, you can make more out of the user base that you have in one industry and benefit from it in another one. So basically, for example, if you do advertising on mainstream only for, let's say, crypto ads or some crypto offers, then you can basically also benefit from retargeting the same users that you find in mainstream, retargeting them on adult websites, for example, through our network. So pretty interesting. Let's start with the interstitials. So first of all, let's have a quick look what happened so far. So that's only the very recent past. everything started basically with Google updating their regulations. So I would say it's already been 2 years ago, maybe, when Google started to threaten us that they would at some point ban pop-under ads from Google Chrome. And everyone was afraid for this to happen one day. But nothing happened in the end. So there were a few updates that we had to make. So not triggering pop-unders on certain events, for example. But now the situation got much more serious. So what happened in the beginning of the year, so mostly in February, most of these things happened, is that Google started aggressively flagging pop-unders as a bad user experience, basically, according to the so feedback that we got from our publishers. So we noticed then that one after the other of our publishers reached out to us and said, guys, what can we do? Like, Google is flagging any kind of solution that we have for pop-unders. Then people started also to try different solutions. So we saw things like, only triggering the pop-under after the, third or fourth page the user visits or something like that. Or even we saw solutions like coming up with a cookie bar at the bottom of the page saying that the user accepts to see advertising on this page, but none of these solutions were good enough for Google, so they kept flagging these sites. I have to say also that it was mainly in our industry, so mainly the adult sites got flagged. So it seems that Google really started their attack in that particular industry, because there are very, very big websites that also Google does not really benefit from a lot. So that's probably why they started there. And yeah, but we're convinced, given the seriousity of their attack, if you can call it, that it's only the beginning. So one site after the other will be under review for that. So luckily we already were in the development phase of a solution for that, because we originally were a pure pop-under network. Meanwhile, we serve other kind of ads as well, so banners, video, and so on. But originally we were only focused on pop-unders. That's why this was a very big topic for us, and we're still very pop-under focused. So obviously we had to react to that, and we had the approach of not finding ways around it, because we think that they will be very short-term, these solutions. So we said we need one thing that we can rely on the long term. And this, for us, the only thing, we work together with our publishers and advertisers and try to figure something out. And the only thing that we could really think of that is totally compliant with the better ad standards as well was a full page interstitial. For me, it's not quite understandable, to be honest, why an interstitial is okay and the pop-under is not, because for me the pop-under is actually less intrusive than the interstitial, but we don't make the rules. So yeah.
You never understand Google.
Yeah. It's always tough, but yeah, unfortunately there is no other way than playing their game on their browser. So yeah, that's what it is. And we came up with this full page interstitial, and it was luckily at the very same time where really this attack happened, and one big publisher after the other, that's the last point on this slide, started to really take down the entire pop-unders from Chrome. So we could see that happen. I mean, we had a bit of feedback also from affiliates and advertisers saying, yes, but I still buy pop-under traffic, I still do that. So yes, there is still pop-under traffic out there on Chrome. There is also many publishers that did not yet get flagged by Google for that. But what we definitely know is that the biggest of the adult sites all got flagged, and that they all took down the pops already on Chrome. So yeah, it was bad on one side, but at the same time, it was good that we already had the solution ready. And yeah, publishers and advertisers were pretty happy because it's just a transition phase to a new format. And now we have to figure out how to work with this format, what works best on it, and how to make this as profitable as the POPs were. I mean, the user base is still the same on the site, so there should be a way to also convert these users with the new format. Let me jump to the next slide that shows quickly the impact it had. So for publishers, it was really, they were threatened with serious fines, if you want so, by Google. So they won't charge you anything, but they will take away from you. So what could happen, and what happened already to publishers, was that if they don't hit the deadline of Google basically to fix what was flagged, they will probably lose all their advertising spend for the next 24 hours. So the entire advertising spend on Google is on Chrome is gone, and yeah, that's quite serious for publishers. And not only that, I mean, already losing the pop unders on Chrome is a very substantial revenue loss for them. I quickly noted it down here. So Google traffic is up to 70% of a website's traffic, depending on the user base. But these statistics, that's what you see when you check Wikipedia, for example. It will give you between 60 and 70% on average is the Chrome traffic of a website on average. And yeah, so the pop under was always the moneymaker for the publisher, so the most expensive ad format that they had on their site. So usually the pops are slightly more expensive than video pre-rolls, for example. And yeah, so it was the biggest chunk of income for publishers that was about to disappear. So that's why it was very important to react immediately. And then on the advertiser side or affiliate side that are buying the traffic, I mean, also they were worried because you lose an entire format. There's no more Chrome pop traffic. And this was a very high converting format for many industries. So when you see typically, live cams, for example, or also gambling can be a very big one on pops, even in adult. Online games, what we saw and everything. So for these guys, it was also a big threat to not have this format anymore. So yeah, we see there was really an impact on both sides. And obviously for an ad network like us, it's the same issue because that's also revenue loss for us. Okay, so let's see what we came up with. So it's not us, to be fair, who invented this, but we came up with a pretty cool solution that works well for desktop and mobile. So funny enough that I took a screenshot of a Google site. Had to be, yeah,
it's too ironic.
we want to be Google compliant here, that's for sure. So how the interstitial gets triggered, for example, is that the user clicks on a link to content. So if you take the left screen of the device here, the user would click on one of these links. In our case, not on Google, but on a tube site, for example. And then in between this link and the new content page, we would open this interstitial. And I show you another example of how this looks like on desktop. So that's a concrete example of our full page interstitial. The landing page is fully interactive. So you just take a URL basically like you used to do on a pop under, and you place it in the ad, and this is what will be shown in this interstitial spot. So everything can be moving, you can interact with all the buttons there and everything. So it is basically like a pop over, if you want. So, and what is important? So there is a few things, regulatory things that you have to keep in mind. For example, there needs to be a dismissal button. That's very, very important, obviously, so that the user can access the content page with one click, and there can not be any like countdown or anything to it. So it must be immediately dismissible. There is an option that you could put a fake countdown on the page or something like that, or say that after 30 seconds the interstitial would disappear anyways, or whatever you want to do, but it needs to have the option to be immediately dismissible. So what we also came up with, I have that in a bit again, that our solution is also customizable from the publisher side. So the publishers could say, we want a different text, for example, in the dismissal button or something like that. I mean, we will always check these texts so that they are also compliant with the rules. But yeah, our format is pretty flexible in what it can do. Also, we can move like X buttons or something. You can fully adjust where you want this and whatever. So it's a pretty nice solution. So our solutions to this issue was that we came up with a multi-browser solution for the publishers. So what we usually do is that our publishers keep all the pop-unders on all other browsers as long as they accept them. We will see what will happen, what are the consequences of this. And only on Chrome, we help them to trigger the interstitials instead, so they can totally run all this through us. So we will help them with that. And then it's a fully customizable solution, as I just mentioned. So you can customize the dismissal call to action, text, and also the button location. So if you have the dismiss button, the X or something on the interstitial, you can choose wherever you want to have it. So that's not always on the top right, for example, so that the user has to look around a bit before he can dismiss the ad. Yes, and the solution we have works across all devices, so all kinds of mobile and desktop devices that are usually being used. Cool. So that was already my interstitial topic.
Right.
If you have any questions, Roman, now.
Let's cover questions regarding to interstitial, and then I will let you continue with retargeting cross markets. So we are mostly, viewed by affiliates. Can you tell me what verticals, what kind of offers are well suitable for interstitial ad formats? Is that the same as it used to be for pop-unders?
Yes and no, and also we don't know. So I would say it's an exciting time right now, and it's an opportunity for all advertisers out there to start testing again. I mean, yes, we see partly same offers working on the interstitials already. So we are running big scale tests with some rather big chem companies already, and they switched all their media buys from the pops to the interstitials, and the results are very promising. So we're almost at the same results already as we were on the pops with some of them. But also it's for them to A/B test new landing pages and everything, because it's very in the face of the user now. Whilst with the pop-under, he had a bit of time to adjust. It was just another tab or whatever where the user would later then go to. And this one is right popping up in your face. So it is a slightly different approach. So I would also say, like, even people who were not necessarily targeting pops before should give it a try, because you never know, it might work for different verticals, different products, different approaches as well. So there's a lot to be tested still. But the good news is that already we see on some of the advertisers that we work with that results are definitely there.
Regarding pricing, is that similar to pop-unders, or it's more expensive, less expensive, or what's the deal?
I think also there the market needs to define the price in the end. So for now, I would say the prices are relatively similar to the POPs in many occasions already, but in some occasions it's a bit lower. So I would say probably what we see is between maybe 65 and 100% of the pop under price, depending on the ad spot as well and the offer that is running.
Peter, do you believe that eventually pop unders will disappear completely from the scene?
Yeah, you keep asking me this question. I wish I would know, but we will see what the other browsers do. I mean, if Google keeps dictating what's happening, and especially keeps gaining market shares on Chrome. So if you see, for example, that a bit more than a year ago, I think the market share of Chrome was about 10% lower than it is now, and it's still growing. I think the relevance of the POPs will keep shrinking.
Yeah, I keep asking because that's the question what people ask me all the time, and
Yeah.
what I see in chats being discussed always, like this question appears whether pop unders are going to disappear or not, and people keep saying it's still there, and some already take actions to substitute it, and that's the deal. People are, because pop unders are among the most popular formats. Actually, it's just that's the way I began in affiliate marketing, for example, like 7 years ago or something, or 6 years ago, something like that. Pop unders. Oh my God, I can't even believe it's going to disappear. But yeah, it's good that we have
for sure. Like this discussion is going on since years now, and as I said at the beginning, I mean, 2 years ago, I had so many people who said, "Nah, they will never take action. They're just threatening us, and nothing is going to happen in the end." The others said, "No, it's going to happen sooner than you think." Now it started happening. So what I can advise is, I would, of course, if your offers already work on POPs and they still work on POPs except for Chrome, then of course you keep what you have and try to scale that. But I would already start testing the interstitials on Chrome for sure, because on Chrome they're not going to come back, and it's the biggest share in this market. So that's also one thing that I remember exactly when back then when the video pre-rolls started in adult. In the beginning, everyone said that this is a format that's never going to work on adult, because we're not focused on branding, we're focused on performance. And meanwhile, every site has pre-rolls, and it's one of the most effective formats for specific offers. But yeah, the same thing happened back then. We tried to push everyone to test this new format immediately, because if you don't figure out a way how to perform on this new format, in 1 year's time, there will be the big players who have figured it out, and you will have to compete with them for the prices. So also with the interstitial, it's now the time that you start testing it, now the time to push your offers there and find out the best possible angle, because everyone else is working on it. So yeah, there's no time to be wasted, and make sure you're part of this, you get a part of this pie.
Right. I just wanted to know that, guys, if you have any questions, you can post them below. And we have lovely Anna from TwinRed dealing with those questions. So as we are not able to answer them online, it would be too much of a deal. We have Anna helping us out. So don't hesitate to drop your questions. We try to, offer them, answer them all. Peter, are you still here?
Thank you very much, Anna.
Yeah. Hi, Anna. Peter, can you still hear me well? Because I think I lost you for a second.
Okay, no, I can hear you well.
All right, perfect. Then, before we start on the second part of your presentation, let me stress this out for those who are probably not familiar with the situation or not aware of what is happening. Am I correct saying that one of the biggest adult websites have already stopped serving pop-unders in Chrome?
If they stopped?
What?
Your question was if the big sites already stopped.
Yeah. If they, because
No, it's not even. It's not even one of them. It's all of the big ones have stopped already.
Right.
So you can just go ahead, go on SimilarWeb, find the top 5 adult websites, and I'm pretty sure that none of them serve pops anymore on Chrome.
Yeah, that was something I wanted
there
to
is,
underline.
however, yeah, no, there is, however, if we heard from people, okay, but I'm still getting in my campaigns traffic from this and that site. So there is a few sites that have like specific sub IDs, for example, depending on where their tube traffic is coming from, where they still trigger some pop-unders, but it's a small percentage. And certainly not on Google search traffic or something.
Right. Totally clear now. And let's move on. As we also, as you mentioned, there is no time to waste.
Yes, let's move on. Okay, the retargeting cross markets. I'm really excited about this topic because I would love to see that more. For me, it's a lost opportunity for many people, and this is nothing really new. Also, but we have also tried to push affiliates towards this direction since a long time. But I don't think that many affiliates use this, and that's also why people don't talk about it so much. So that's why we decided to talk about it. Now you can't see my beautiful icons, I think.
Yeah, see the
okay, so let's start with the retargeting basics. So if you feel okay, this is a topic I know already and I'm bored now, so we will only start with the basics to explain for those who don't use retargeting, how does it work, what is it, and then we get to the point on how it can be used to additional benefit. So in our case, what we do at TwinRed is we have a very, very powerful retargeting, and it's called behavior retargeting. Why is it called behavior retargeting? That's because you can define a certain user action that you want to track. So you say, here is the start, here is the stop of the user action, and this action in between is your event, basically, that you can then trigger or store the user data for.
Right.
So let's start from the basics. You track any user behavior you want on your landing pages. Then you collect this data of users that perform defined actions. As I just said, it usually works with pixels. I will come to this a bit later, what options we have. And there's 2 pixels that define the start and the end of a user action. And then afterwards, a cookie gets placed on the user. So yeah, we put in a cookie, and based on that cookie, you can retarget the user in our network. And then you can specifically target those users that you really want out of all the traffic available. You can really pick out exactly the ones that you say, these people are worth getting to them again. So common user actions that are being tracked could be, I mean, the possibilities are really endless here, but the most typical ones is an abandoned shopping cart. So for example, you say when a user made it to my shopping cart site and then he did not hit the pay now button or whatever. Okay, I want to store this user and I want to find him again and put again my offer in front of him until he goes back to my offer and he converts. Okay, then you have also, for example, a very interesting approach is users who already converted. I mean, these users can be worth a lot of money. These users have already paid for an offer online, and you know that. Why not up or cross-sell them something? So in our case, for example, it could be that they converted on a campsite. Why not showing this user dating ads from now on, for example? Or if he converted to one dating product, I might have another one that he also might be interested in. So it's spending users that you know. It's this can be worth a lot. So let's not waste this data. Then you have certain user preferences. Could be from your conversion funnels or something like that. You know, you're asking your users in your conversion flow, for example, how old are you? What are you interested in? What's your hobby? Whatever. And you could, for example, based on the answers of this user, make user segments out of this. So you could say a user that put an age from, I don't know, 30 to 40. This is one of my events. This is one category that I want to retarget later. So you can really make this as deep and interesting as you want to. And or you could also, if you have the chance on your site to define that for the user, a user who spent a certain amount, for everyone who converted for the offer over $100, for example, is in this event section, and every user that converted below that, I can put in another. So as I said, any behavior you like, you can track it with us. Okay. Let's jump to the next thing. So this is still only if you would use the retargeting as a TwinRed client. So not even talking cross industries here. So what we recommend to our clients on how to set up their media buying is always to start with a run campaign, as we call it. So run stands for a run of network. That means all the traffic sources available in our platform. You target all of them, no specific sites. Okay, and this should always be your testing campaign. Okay, every advertiser should always have an active run campaign running in order to test new traffic sources that come in, because we also have a publishing team that every day is hunting for new traffic sources, closing new deals with publishers. And then the new traffic comes in, and when you have a run campaign with us, you will automatically get a portion of this traffic if your bid is good enough. Okay, what you do to limit your spend on the run campaigns is you just exclude the traffic sources that either did not perform for you, or you exclude the ones that performed very well for you and go to the next step and create a targeted campaign for it. So usually I would always recommend take anything that you know a result, good, not good, take it out of the run, and either drop it or create a specific campaign for it. So in the targeting campaign, then you can optimize, you can really try to scale up, and you go in with a higher bid in order to make sure you receive top traffic and most of it. In the run campaign, I would rather advise to go with a medium bid. So our account managers usually help you with that from the start. And then on top of these targeted campaigns, that's where most of the people that we work with stop. So they are not even taking advantage of the retargeting, which in my opinion is a big loss for them. Because in the retargeting, that's when you can really grab those users that you really want and have defined in your actions. And usually the spend for this is very little, because you only target certain users out of millions. So you can go in, and you should go in with the top bid always. So make sure you ask the account manager, like, how much do I need to bid for this user to have the top bid? Because this is a user you don't want to miss out on. So let's make sure that you really get these users. And the top bid also is something on our network that you don't need to be scared of, really, because we have this dynamic CPM where you basically give a maximum bid and you only pay a little bit above the next highest bid automatically. So this is a good way of using this. Okay, so you should do it anyways, even if you're not cross-industry or whatever. So I would always recommend to everyone who has the opportunity to place pixels on his landing pages to do that. Let's jump to the next one. What's the opportunity we're talking about with the cross industries? So I'm very interested in cooperating more with mainstream affiliates, for example. As I said before, that run crypto offers or could be casino offers that you could also advertise on adult sites if it's okay. Whatever, can be really whatever, or Nutra products or something like that could be a very interesting field as well. So it's just to make more money out of your mainstream campaigns, really, because we all know that especially in mainstream, the traffic is really, really expensive, and it's a very competitive market. So it really can make a difference for you if you make these extra bucks with using the retargeting model that we suggest. So the thing is, what you need to do is you place your TwinRed retargeting pixel on all your mainstream landing pages already. So you track the same user actions that you would track in TwinRed. You track them on any landing page, no matter in which network you run these campaigns. Because that means that we cookie these users, even though they come from mainstream sites and whatever, but they will get a TwinRed cookie. And then what you can do is you can go on TwinRed and purely in all these adult sites that are usually, what percentage of people might end up on a porn site one day. So you will find your users again one day or another.
Very likely.
In our network. Yes. And the traffic is usually, the CPMs are usually way lower, so that you can have traffic for a lot less still, and you can find these users and retarget them on TwinRed. So that's, for me, a perfect solution how you can benefit twice from your data. So this is for me a no-brainer to do that. Okay, let's see further how that works or what you have to pay attention to. So always place our pixel. That's very, very important, and it costs you nothing. You just put the pixel there and you will start collecting data. I think that even in the cookies normally can stay for up to 10 years or something on a user if it doesn't obviously clear cache and cookies or something like that. But you are going to collect very valuable data there. So that's really a good thing. I mean, obviously in incognito browsers or something, yes, it does not work because the cookies get deleted immediately, but the percentage of non-incognito is still way, way higher. So that's a great opportunity. Then, yes, your expensive mainstream campaigns will become much more profitable because you will make extra profits on the adult side with that. One thing that we recommend really is that the creatives should be recognizable still. So I would advise, for example, to try maybe an even more aggressive, that's also the next point, an aggressive approach on the adult side. So the creatives can be slightly different, for example, but stick to the same kind of color palette or something so that the user will in some way link that to the offer that he has seen before or whatever. But yeah, it might be that on the adult sites we allow probably more aggressive banners or ads or landing pages than you would find on Facebook or whatever. Right. So that's another advantage that you have. So you can try the same user again that maybe did not convert on your mainstream site. Try it with a more aggressive landing page on adult. Maybe you convert him there. So that's a good one. And make always sure that you are the highest bidder. That's really, really important because this is an impression that you will really want. Okay. Let's go further. This is just how to get started with this. So basically every client that signs up with TwinRed will be able to speak to a real person from day one. So just reach out to our account managers who will be in touch with you and ask them for help. So they will assist you with how to set this up. Then you choose, make a plan for yourself, choose a few behaviors that you want to track or one behavior you want to track. Just define it for yourself. What do I want? Then reach out to the account manager and coordinate it with him. The account manager will create that pixel for you. So you have with us 3 different possibilities on how you can technically implement that into your landing pages, which is either a script, an iframe, or an image pixel. So you will get as I said, you have always a start and a stop action. And when the user comes to the defined stop action of the event, then this is the moment where we cookie the user. That's what you place on your landing pages, and you start collecting data basically. And then once you start collecting data, you can already go on the TwinRed platform and create your campaign. Very important also, make sure that you create a run campaign, because you will anyways only pay for these users that you cookied in this campaign. So it doesn't matter which traffic source it comes from, really. Make sure you have a broad amount of sources, run campaign, and then you have so much opportunity to find this user again. That's the perfect setup basically. And that was it from my side.
Cool. Thank you very much, Peter. You know what I like affiliate marketing about? It's always new opportunities coming up. And you have just given us 2, like pop-unders are under threat. Boom, new format is, popping into existence. Then this retargeting option, it's so simple, but at the same time, so effective. I have never thought about it, that you can just, put a pixel, collect the data, and reach your audience back again on adult website, because every like, safe to say, every single user ends up at an adult's website in the end of the
it's
day.
Perfect. I always had the feeling maybe it sounds too good to be true, or it was too obvious so that people don't even start doing it. I don't know, but it's it's very, very effective.
And adult traffic is no way, but it is generally cheaper than mainstream traffic. And you can effectively, wow, man, I can see so many opportunities. If it used well, if it used smart, lots of money can be really made here.
No, and also it gives you so much flexibility and options that you can try. Since you can define the user actions, so you can do multiple things. You can have buckets of users that you retarget, and you have the shop cart abandoners, you have you can upsell, cross-sell, whatever. Indeed. Just convert them.
You can even adjust your angle towards adult. Let's say firstly you put your offer in front of a user mainstream way, then you show the same offer more adult way, and it might work really well. I actually need to try it myself. All right, man. The only thing was not clear for me. I need to ask you, how do you choose the behavior? You need to talk to an account manager, right? It's not straight from the advertising panel. It just how that works. Can you explain?
No, it's up to you what you want to choose, and you need to place it on your landing page, obviously. So we can't do that for you, but that's the little coding part that you need to do, basically.
Right.
But our account manager will create you the pixel and name it accordingly, so that we make sure, okay, this is the defined user action, shopping cart abandoner, and then she creates a pixel for you, and you place that on your landing page.
Right. Yeah. Now it's clear. It's clear. Simple yet effective. Do you have many affiliates using that technique?
No, unfortunately not. That's why we decided to bring it up here, because we've been talking about this since years. I remember it was for sure like 4 or 5 years ago where we had this idea already to do that, and no one yet is still doing it. So we have a lot of people that are already using the retargeting within our network, but externally, no.
Even though in mainstream retargeting, one of the most used practice, like everyone does that, it's
Exactly.
out of a box, you know, it's by default. If you run campaigns, you use retargeting, otherwise you just waste a certain percentage of your income like that.
Yeah.
And here is another way. Okay, man, that's pretty much it from me. I have no more questions. I'm sure that people who are watching us, they have, and we try to deal with them after we finish. And Anna is dealing with those questions, as I know. Again,
Yeah.
thank you very much, Peter, that you have, you know, found time to talk to us. It's very valuable information, and for those who are able to listen to will take a lot from it.
Yeah, thank you again for the opportunity to talk to you here, and yeah, I'm always happy when we can come up with something innovative for our clients. And yeah, guys, you see the email address down there. So whenever you have further questions at a later point or whatever, just shoot us an email and we try to get back to you as soon as possible.
Great. Thank you everyone for watching us. We are approaching towards the end of our affiliate marketing virtual summit, and today we cover different alternative traffic sources such as interstitial ads, for example. So to give you more ideas how you can profit and scale your ads. Tomorrow we are starting fulfillment by Amazon in e-commerce day. So stay tuned. We have many stuff coming, and thank you for watching once again. That was Roman from fpeople.com and Peter from TwinRed. See you next time.
Thank you very much. Bye-bye.